Jason Tigert, boys basketball coach, Franklin High School. Friday night, we did a tribute to Natchez High School. Natchez High School was the African American high school that was integrated into Franklin High School in the late 60s. And so Natchez High School is a big part of Franklin history, Franklin High School history. Since then, another high school's opened up in Franklin, Centennial High School, so we thought it made sense to partner with that school and have a night where we did a throwback uniform, once again to pay tribute to Natchez High School. And we looked to grow this event and make it something really special. We did a lot of history and research that week and shared that with our guys, and it just was a really special night. This is something that we look forward to growing. It was tough in a COVID environment to do it the way we wanted, but we hope once we get out of the pandemic that we'll be able to bring back alumni from Natchez High School, be able to have a banquet, speakers, those kind of things, and just grow the event to where, you know, it's not just simply about the uniforms. Like I said, we did a history on the uniforms. We made them as authentic as possible. We took an actual team picture, and so that's the style. We researched the numbers of the players, and that's the numbers that we used that night. For example, number 25 was worn by Fred Lane Sr., and so we had a number 25. And so it was neat. We wore the blue tops with the gold shorts, and Centennial did the opposite, and so we shared the same numbers. But yeah, it was just a really, really neat thing visually, neat to honor and remember Natchez High School, because that is a big part of our history. Over a year ago, well, it's probably a year and a half ago, my assistant coach, Justin Anderson, mentioned his thoughts on doing something for Natchez, and he had heard of some other schools that have done things to represent those African American high schools that were eventually integrated into the respected schools that are now there. And so Coach Anderson's idea, and from that just discussion, we thought, well, the uniform makes a ton of sense as a starting point. And then as we researched, we started coming up with, you know, other ideas that we want to do to grow them.
In robotics, we're doing a project where you have to basically put little loops on goals.
So there's a little bucket on a board with little circular rings of plastic, and you're supposed to design a robot to pick the rings up and place it onto a peg that's on the board. One challenge was the fact that the arm was just like really flimsy, and even if we were to pick something up, the weight of the ring would be too much and it wouldn't be able to stack it.
One of the things that they learn very, very quickly is that they have to adjust the weight. In order to be able to have a more robust arm, they have to adjust the weight of the robot in order for it to hold the weight of the arm itself.
It's fun, you get to experiment with different things.
The concept of being able to build something that can work autonomously or by remote, and just the process of going through it, I found interesting.
They learn troubleshooting, they learn to be persistent and to be innovative. If it doesn't work, they have to change it in order to try another thing, and it might fail 17 different ways, but then they get to their 18th way, and then all of a sudden it works, and that builds confidence, and that's real confidence.
It's really, really cool understanding how the machines work.
It's just the way that like some people like playing sports. It's part of the competition. It's just that kind of game where you're trying to beat yourself and the other people around you.
Right, yeah, so we can like put toothpick here, and then me and Landon could work on kind of. No, but we need to make this stay up. Yeah, we need to. So we'll work on kind of getting the toothpicks and the marshmallows, and you can connect them here. That work? Right. Yeah. We were doing an engineer process. And then wait. No. Okay, that won't work. It's hard.
So
So basically, the engineering process is basically the process engineers use every day. So they're learning about what engineers do and then the process that they go through, asking questions, imagining, planning, creating, improving, and then going through the whole process again.
This is gonna be harder than I thought. Before we stacked, like we need to like connect these two and these two.
Go. I love doing competition in the classroom because it really gets them excited and get them engaged on it too.
Yes! Yeah! Thought of good ideas, but then they didn't really turn out very well. Wait. Keep building with it.
They work together really well. They've been with each other all year, so they kind of have a good experience knowing how each other works and their strengths with each other. So it's something that usually has a lot of teamwork involved, which we love doing.
We have to keep it stable from falling.
And then now we can continue building and not worry as much about this whole thing falling.
No.
I think it makes it harder for some of them because they want to win so badly, but they also understand that it's just something to use a process to learn. So they don't take it too seriously, and if they do, we kind of stop and regroup and have a conversation about like, yes, we are having a competition, but it's more about learning the process that we're doing instead.
Quickly, wait. Oh gosh. Okay, what happened? And what do you think? I think this is good.
Basically, I want them to understand the process. I want them to understand that they can build things and be able to make a structure on their own or even anything on their own with whatever materials that they're given so they can apply that later on.
Hey, don't worry. That's it's a prototype. It's a prototype.